But anyway, I think we're mic'd up. How you doing? Ben? Brad? Good to see you. Mercenaries, what did I call it? I called it the wrong thing. Battlefield Heroes. All right, so tell me about this game, Ben. Where do we start with Battlefield Heroes?
Well, I guess we can start by describing it. I mean, Battlefield Heroes is a new game in the Battlefield franchise. It's quite different from our previous games in that it's completely free to play, and it's aimed at a broad audience, people who just want to pick up and play a game and get into it easily, and it's completely free of charge. As I said, it's a download from the web, and it's got lots of really cool, interesting web features. What we're looking at the moment is the character customization part of the game, and here you can see on screen Brad going through all of the different character options in the front end, and he can click and just drag a jacket and put the jacket onto his character. And the game's really about creating your own unique war hero, customizing that war hero, leveling him up, giving him weapons and abilities, making him look cool, and also making him powerful on the battlefield. So we're changing the way the character looks, but we can also change his weapons. If Brad goes up to the weapons tab at the top of the screen, you can drag and drop a different type of machine gun or a shotgun or a pistol to really customize your character and kind of give him a specific loadout for a specific type of play. He's also got different abilities. Abilities are a little bit like spells in an MMO. These are special abilities. The ability to see through walls, the ability to heal yourself or your teammates or vehicles. And these are a really cool new feature that we've added to Battlefield Heroes, which give it a kind of a depth that we've not seen in previous Battlefield games. There's also emotes, which are really good fun. Emotes are, as we've seen before in other games, these are little animations that your character plays. And by just clicking on those buttons, we can see all of the cool animations that he's got.
So give me I know that you'll be able to purchase additional equipment as you go through this game, but give me an idea of how much stuff you'll start out with when you first download the game.
When you first download the game, you'll have a basic character in his army fatigues. He'll have kind of a few basic weapons and a few basic abilities, but you won't be able to buy weapons in the game or anything which gives you a direct advantage on the battlefield. You'll be able to speed up the kind of time it takes to get more powerful, but you won't be able to unlock anything which other people can't get to.
So it's really just making yourself unique on the battlefield.
Absolutely. It's about expressing yourself and making your own unique war hero. So let's jump into the game now. All you need to do in Battlefield Heroes to find the game is click the big button that says Play Now, and we have a matchmaking system which automatically puts you into a game which is suitable for your skill level and has a good ping. Those black areas you saw on the loading screen are where we would have advertising in the game, because we also have advertising in the game's menus and the website, but there's no billboards or posters in the world itself.
Okay. Oh, so that was quick.
Yeah, that was pretty quick. So this is Battlefield Heroes. It's a third-person game, as you can see. We've gone third-person because the game's about this hero you've created, and it's really cool to have that hero on screen all the time. Although you control the game just like you would a normal first-person shooter with the mouse. The bottom of the screen you can see the abilities that we gave to your character. There's a tank incoming here, so Brad's going to have to get out of the way and try and sneak up behind this building. The special abilities are mapped onto the number keys at the bottom of the screen, a bit like your spells in an MMO.
Okay.
And if he holds down the Q button, he can access those emotes that we've just put onto the characters. So he can give someone a little thank you nod, or maybe kind of do a kind of drat move if he gets killed or something. So he's getting attacked. There he is, being attacked by a National Army gunner. Brad's playing a Royal Army soldier. We've got 3 player classes in the game, and they kind of suit different playing styles. The soldier's a really good all-rounder. The gunner that he's fighting is kind of a heavy weapons guy who is really good at close combat. And then we have a character called the Commando, which is really good at long-range combat, where he can kind of stab you when he's up close. The game's about appealing to a broader audience, and some of the things that we've done to make that broad audience appeal is that when you get killed, you see the guy who killed you, you see what weapon he used to kill you, and you see kind of where he is on the battlefield. So there's none of those moments where you're like, what the hell happened there?
Yeah,
exactly, which is something that we've had in our previous Battlefield games. So there we go, we see that as he's attacking the enemy and doing damage on the enemy, numbers are coming off him. That corresponds to how much damage he's doing, but it also corresponds to the amount of experience points he's gaining. Because this is kind of like an MMO, he's gaining experience as he plays. In the top left-hand corner of the screen, you can see the character's portrait, and there's kind of a number and an arrow. He's level 14, and if he fills out that green arrow, he'll get up to level 15. And as you level up your character, you unlock new abilities, new weapons, new clothing. So it's really about creating this cool little action hero, this cool little war hero that's unique and customized.
Are you gaining attribute bonuses as you level up, or is it merely just abilities?
We have different attribute bonuses, so it's kind of like an MMO. As well as the leveling up system, there's also a mission system, which is a bit like the Xbox Live achievements. So what you do is you say, I want to kill 5 guys in a row, or I want to capture 5 flags in a row. And as you complete those missions, you get something called a hero point. And that hero point enables you to upgrade your abilities or to unlock new abilities.
Okay. All right, so I know people have a lot of questions on this game. Kristen, let's have a few right now.
Okay, Dennis from Sweden wants to know, are there any level caps in Battlefield Heroes?
There's no level caps in the game currently, but when we launch the game, we'll have a level cap, and we'll probably be raising that level cap over time as people get there, yeah.
And I know you're planning on adding content. You were just up on stage not long ago saying, new factions. Tell us about the plans for the future.
The great thing about this title is because it's online and because it's going to be constantly, there's going to be a live team working on it constantly, we can upgrade the game, not only with stuff that we want to add, but stuff that the community tells us they want. So if everyone loves this tank and they want more tanks, we can create heavy tanks, we can create live tanks. And the game automatically updates. So when you next get into the game, if we've added an update with new tanks, you just download it and they would be in the games right there. If they want to add new factions, if they want to add female soldiers, if they want to add new abilities, we can just do whatever the community wants, and that's really exciting.
As this game has been developed, over the last few months, can you give us some examples of things that the community has suggested that are now in this version of the game, this build?
We've only been in open beta for a while, but what we've found in closed beta for a while, what we've found in the closed beta is people really love the character customization items, and they love making these unique heroes, and they don't care if they're not historically accurate. Right. People love to run around in their underwear with a pirate hat on, and we've realized that that kind of crazy expressive, creative character building is really popular. So we've really built in a lot more character customization items as a result.
We're looking at a tank right now. Any other vehicles that you can mention?
Yeah, we've got three different vehicles in the game. We've got these tanks, which are kind of influenced by World War II tanks. We've got jeeps, and also we've got aircraft. But if, again, the vehicles become successful, or if people are looking for a particular type of vehicle, we can add that.
All right, Kristen, how about another question for Battlefield Heroes?
All right, I actually have one. Let me find it really quick. Okay, Benjamin Weinstein from the US would like to know, how many players online will this game support?
Each map can support up to 16 players, and we've built the maps specifically around 16 players. It's slightly fewer than we've had in previous Battlefield games, but the game's still just as intense and crazy as the 64-player games in previous Battlefield games.
And this map looks to be centered around this town. How far out can you go from the middle of town here?
Let me think. You can probably go about 300 or 400 yards in either direction. There's this base that's directly ahead of Brad's tank, and then there's another base beyond that. So, people are flying around this environment in aircraft, so it's a fairly big environment. But the gameplay tends to center on this central village area where all the really intense action happens.
How many characters can you create? Are you just dealing with one character that you change as you want into different classes, or can you create multiple classes?
You can have up to 4 simultaneous characters, and you can't change the class of a character once you've created them, but obviously that gives you an opportunity for a mixture of factions and also a mixture of different player classes. Brad's jumping into a plane here. So
very cool.
Planes, the slow-moving, kind of dogfighting planes are back in Battlefield once more, and we're really excited with the fun controls and the kind of all of the craziness that you get from flying a plane.
It looks to be, it's a pretty game. It looks to play pretty quickly. Do you have nailed down the system requirements?
These system requirements are a 1 gigahertz processor, 512 megabytes of RAM, and an integrated graphics card. So you can have a laptop from a couple of years ago and the game will run really well on it.
Okay, and so I know you're in, are you in open beta right now?
We're in a closed beta at the moment. There's 10,000 people who've redeemed keys and who are in the game now.
All right, and so when do you expect it'll come out, and how will people get it?
Well, if you're a hardcore gamer, if you're a core gamer, you're going to get into our closed beta, because we're going to have a really big closed beta with up to 1 million people registered. So that's going to be later on in this autumn. Okay. And then we're going to be opening up our access to everybody in the world, to the casual gamers and to everyone early next year.
All right, Ben, Brad, thank you so much for bringing by Battlefield Heroes. We'll be out later.